Welcome back. The high cost of financial caregiving. Here's a staggering statistic for you. Americans pay $190 billion a year caring for parents and older loved ones. That is not just physical time and effort. That's money for personal bills, handling health care claims, even filing taxes. Joining us right now in an exclusive details of a new study by Merrill Lynch and Age Wave is Bank of America Merrill Lynch retirement executive Kevin Crain. Kevin, good to have you on the program. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Maria.
And our generation is sort of living that sandwich life, right? You've got your parents that you want to care for, but then you've got your kids as well. So explain financial caregiving and how it's affecting all of us.
It's a tremendous issue. I mean, there are 40 million Americans today that are caregivers, and these are not paid caregivers. They're caregivers out of their time, even if they're working and doing otherwise.
For family?
For family. It's being added 10 million plus a year. As you said, $190 billion that they're spending of their own money. I mean, 90% of the caregivers in some way give either financial support or give their own finances to care for loved ones. So it's become a tremendous issue, and it's become a tremendous issue in terms of preparation. Are they prepared for that? Do they have all the right setup in terms of doing it? Do they have the right...
How do you get prepared?
Well, so a number of things. You know, I'm going through this. My dad, for example, is in assisted living, and you have to set up power of attorney, third-party access to accounts, joint accounts. Even, I think one of the most critical things for a family is assigning the right people to handle the situation. So do the parents assign a health proxy? Do they assign a financial proxy? So it's clear, even with the siblings caring for the parents, who has the role. And don't leave that just to all of them to decide together, because when you start dealing with the issue of the people that you're giving care to at that point, it's very emotional in terms of the decisions you have to make.
From a financial perspective, Medicare does not cover nursing home care. And this is more of a question. The vast majority of people in nursing homes are on Medicaid.
Right.
That they figure out a way to basically declare poverty and get on Medicaid in order to get parents, grandparents into nursing homes. Could that be a mushrooming problem for the federal government and the states in terms of funding for Medicaid as more and more people take that route and get these aging parents and relatives onto Medicaid so they don't have to foot the bill, or because they can't foot the bill for them?
I do think the biggest cost issue as you're raising is the long-term care, particularly because of the issue of dementia and Alzheimer's and people living physically longer but needing that care. So the cost of assisted living or nursing home care is the major component of cost that goes into this. And so when you look at potential government programs, you look at even employers with their employees, what benefit programs could they offer caregivers in terms of giving some level of financial support for them and even help in terms of the right choices with assisted living and nursing home care, both cost efficiently and the right care for people. That has to be something in corporate America that has to grow quickly to support their employees.
Doesn't that also have to do with tax policy, too, for example? Why wouldn't we as a society ought to encourage our society to take care of our elderly and take care of our own family members? And so shouldn't there be a ability to at least get a tax credit, a tax deduction for those caregivers who are providing those financial services? And then shouldn't, you know, I think, and look, in our company, we would certainly support flexibility of work schedule for someone who's doing that, too.
That's going to cost a lot. How much did the child's credit cost?
Yeah.
I think Marco Rubio likely want to double that.
I think one area you may address that, though, is in terms of leave programs. You brought up a good point. There have been great progress for young parents in terms of leave programs, both for males and females in terms of leave programs.
Yep.
The same has to be done, as Maria said, for the sandwich group in terms of leave programs, because there's a stigma today when employees want to take time off to take care of elders that they're caring for. There's a little bit of a stigma how they do that.
Oh, really?
So leave programs for people like that in terms of, and maybe some financial support with those leave programs that they can take leave to do that.
Some bosses are very generous with time.
Like ours.
They have never, in over 3.5 years of dealing with a parent who has cancer, it's been incredible how I've been treated, but to codify that at the corporate level is really important to say, if you're taking care of a parent who is terminally ill or gravely ill, it's like maternity leave. Potentially.
Well, I think
Well,
also,
just aging in general. I'm taking care of my parents
Right.
in that regard, too. And it's hard.
It's hard. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of emotional stress. And also being prepared. Maybe giving them also legal support. What documents do they need? How do they put it in place? There needs to be a toolbox, basically, of elder care to help people. What do they need to do and how do they need to do it?
So give me just 3 of the top things in that toolbox. What do people need to know?
First of all, the documentation process that you need to do. I mean, I just went through this. What is the power of attorney you need to execute? How do you get third-party access? How do you set up the joint accounts? Second of all, I would say financial planning. Financial planning support that this sandwich generation may be taking care of their children, may be taking care of their parents.
So the caregiver has to have the right financial planning.
The right financial planning to plan for that they have the assets, because they're giving $7,000 a year on average of their own money.
And number 3?
And number 3, I would say the help, particularly in choosing the right care for the people long term. If you're dealing with assisted living and nursing home, getting help in terms of what is the right facilities, how could you choose them, and in what way.
If your parents allow an aide in there.
Right, exactly. But there's the financial, I mean, the emotional stress of it is basically you're the parent to your parents.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens.
Number 4 is we all got to work longer, right?
That's right.
I mean, it's wonderful to live longer. The flip side of it is you got to work longer.
Mandatory retirement at 65 is it doesn't make any sense anymore. And
well, not with the longevity that we're all enjoying.
Exactly. And so and we have many more productive years in our lives left, and I think that's also inures to good health. But I think for catastrophic injuries, I don't think the government should regulate what businesses do. I think the competitive environment is if you have policies that are considerate of the workers and their families, then you'll get better people to work for you.
Yeah.
But I think
Amen to that.
tax-wise, we need to look at doing something that's going to address that, because that's going to be a growing burden, as you know.
Yes.
Kevin, really helpful stuff. Thank you so much. Come
Thank
back
you very
soon,
much.
okay?
I
Kevin
appreciate
Crain, that really resonates.